What I'm going to do is I'm going to present a short video on our worry translocation, and I'll talk over the top just a little bit of that. I won't talk too much, and then I've got another video on some other works on sandhill dunarts. So in August this year, we did translocation of worry to Mimili ranges down in the APY lands. So we've got a bit of text on there as well, but this is a bit of the habitat. Worry is a black flank rock wallaby. In Pitjantjatjara it's called the worry. They used to be found pretty much all over the APY lands on rocky outcrops similar to that one that we could see there. Unfortunately, due to land degradation, feral predators obviously as well, they've reduced and they've sort of become restricted into small pockets over the APY lands. So we did a translocation in 2017 to another spot, and what we're trying to work on is moving the animals back to areas that they used to be found, so that we've got a bigger population as a meta population. They can't move very freely between the hills. So this translocation, we got some animals from what we call the Pinchi. So the Pinchi in Pitjantjatjara is a fenced area. It's a 1 kilometre square fenced hill, which is what we can see here. We've also got the rangers working with various different people as well. And this is one of the biggest things with this. This is a huge collaboration with APY land management, with the worry rangers, some zoo staff.
Awesome.
Good textbook catch there from the base of the tail by Heidi. So what we're doing there, they go through and they check the wallabies before they get translocated. We've got a translocation plan and they need to fit a certain criteria. So we ended up moving 25 animals out of the Pinchi. The Pinchi's been established since about 2011 and the animals in there are breeding really, really well. So the thing we've got at the moment with the Pinchi, they can potentially eat themselves out of house and home. Macropods breed and breed and breed and breed. So it's actually becoming a really, really good source population. We moved 25 animals from there, and we've also got a wild population. So the idea that we're trying to do is we're trying to do a little bit of experimental work as well to see who's more successful. But we don't want to take too many from the wild populations because we don't want to cause a problem. So far to date, this happened in August. You'll probably note there's no pictures of me. I got COVID 2 days before the translocation and missed out on 4 years of planning to actually go on that trip. But Amanda, who's in the picture there, and Noel, who actually took all of this video footage and made the video, got up there on behalf of AW. The zoo were in attendance as well as some private ecologists. The weather was bad, as you can see by that video. But yeah, it was a really successful week. The animals have been tracked, still getting tracked at the moment. We need to track them for 12 months and then we need to remove those collars. So we'll be tracking again in June. I'll just explain a little bit about what's going on here. So there's a wallaby in that bag. That one didn't want to hang out. What the idea is when you've got them in these bags, you want to put them into the areas that they, what we term as suitable habitats. We find some nice caves. Put the bag into a nice, cool, quiet area, undo the zip tie, and then just leave it so you back out quietly. So when you do these translocations, Noel, who's our communications person, was sort of saying the releases are pretty boring. It's a bag in a cave. Every so often one does come out, but yeah, they come out overnight and then move on without too much of a bother. So far, there's been 3 that have been killed, unfortunately, but again, Pinchi animals, they're coming off the hill and going onto the flat. One was a death by a dingo, which that's okay. We're trying to keep dingoes in situ. They're good for cat and fox control. One looks like it was a fox. And the other one, which I only heard about last week, they're thinking it might have been an eagle. So there's hardly any damage to the collar. These are things they need to all learn and work against. Hopefully I don't get too many nailed. And the next little video, what I'm going to talk about now is sandhill dunarts. So sandhill dunarts is another small animal that we have in our region, if it works. Oop, yeah, good, we're off. Again, thanks to Noel for making a video. So this work is down in the southern region of AW. I've got a little map here which is going to shoot up in a second, it's really quick. Just for those that don't know our region very well. This is the APY lands up the top, so this is where I was talking about with the Wirral. This is Mimily down here where we translocated to, and they came from an area up here. There's also a population over here. This is a third of the state, Northern Territory border, West Australian border, Nullarbor down the bottom, and this is underneath Pitjantjatjara, Yungajarra lands, APY lands. I'll try not to use too many acronyms. This middle area is Marralinga Jarratja, and we've got Tullaringa Conservation Park, Cooper Pedy on the side, and then down here, this is the far west coast native title claim. So we work with Aboriginal landholding authorities throughout our whole region. We've got Yallourn IPA as well, and we've got a really diverse mix. Down here, the far west coast native title claim is made up of Wirringu, Merning, Cookata, and did I say Merning? I think I did. Yep, and Merning, sorry. So we've got a diverse group of people that are involved in that. So sandhill Dunnuts are in the Yellowbinna-Yumbera region. They extend over into Western Australia as well, so there might be some people that have worked with them before. So we did a trapping trip, yep, beautiful, up to the Yellowbinna. This was filmed in May. We've been working with sandhill Dunnuts since the early 2000s. So a massive park. It's a massive part of the Great Victorian Desert. This track is a public track. It's called the Googs Track. It was pushed through by a pastoralist years and years and years ago. We started doing some work on sandhill Dunnuts along this track with the Far West Coast Rangers in 2019 as part of our NLP2 program. So what we're doing here is we're doing some trapping. We've learnt a lot working with people like John Reed from Ecological Horizons on the preferred habitat for these guys. So we've started to really nail where they seem to like. They like really old growth spinifex. This is their sort of habitat that they're going to move between. Again, very fancy stuff by Noel. We've managed to locate sandhill Dunnuts for the last 5 years, extending their range by quite a bit. So this is a sandhill Dunnart getting caught this year. It was a young female again. We've caught, I think it's 4 females in 4 years. This one's got a good latch of me. They don't bite that hard, as much as that looks like it's nailing me. It's yeah. The guys though, I sort of I spooked them by quite a bit. They weren't too keen on grabbing anything out. But you can see that distinctive brush, what I'm explaining there. That's the bottom side of the tail on the sandhill Dunnart. It's a really nice black sort of comb. We're not overly sure what it's for. We think it might be just when it moves through the sand, it keeps it down. Just texting my mum to let her know that I caught a sandhill Dunnart. That was taking data on Fulcrum. That's the female there.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, beautiful. So yeah, and part of this program as well is working obviously with sandhill Dunnarts, but it helps everything. So I'm a birdo, as some of you might know, and this is actually part of our malleefowl project, which is looking at helping out the malleefowl in the region, but it also helps out sandhill Dunnarts. It's tied in together. We're doing a little bit of fox and cat control. We're using felixes in this region. Again, we have dingoes. We want to keep the dingoes. So we're trying to use the felixes to not get any dingoes. So far, we've managed to target 11 foxes and 1 cat. What we're finding with our cameras, I'm going to go through that in a bit. There's a little long-tailed Dunnart that looks like a sandy inland mouse. We have hopping mice as well. Mitchell's hopping mouse, quite a big mouse. They're very nice animals. They bite hard. And they do obviously hop. But yeah, so we're starting to get some good targets. And what we're finding with the cameras is we don't seem to have a lot of... I think that was a muss, yeah. I'm smelling it. Mouse smell, bad. So explaining to the guys, that's a different way to tell it. So these are the cameras we've got. They're set up in grids. It's been really quite interesting. Fox numbers are the highest. We've had a few cat detections, but one of the biggest things we're finding in this region is lack of kangaroos. We have hardly any. So in all of the time that we've had these cameras set up, it's 2 years now, we've had 4 detections of kangaroos. We just don't have roos. And we have a feeling that that's got a lot to do with the dingoes obviously keeping the numbers down, which is keeping the habitat healthy. So I'm thinking in a few years' time, talking with people that are looking at overabundant native herbivores, that this is something we're going to find. Our region has got a lot better cover because of the fact that we just don't have many roos. Obviously the felix that we heard a little bit about yesterday, the green is good. That's not poison. So that's a test one that we can use. So that sort of shows the way that it works. We've been practicing a little bit with drones. That's not a speck of dust. We're using that for mapping of habitat and looking for different types of, this sort of area here, looking for that. The spinifex that we know is going to be the most preferred area. One of the big risks that we've got throughout our region in South Australia is buffel grass. It's a declared weed in South Australia. I know that it is a pasture plant in other areas, but if it gets into these areas, it's one of the main risks to Warroo as well. It tends to dominate. So this is buffel grass. This is an APY land. That's pretty much a monoculture. And we're doing a lot of work to keep it out. So main areas that we've got around Yellabinna is the east-west rail line. It gets moved along by the trains and the seeds come out. It produces a lot of seeds. And it really is a problematic plant for these, and it kills off things like your spinifex. So that video there, I can't see any buffle, which is great. The pinchy is actually quite well in control back, we've got it all okay there, but it is a major risk for our region as well. So we're doing a lot of work with this, and this is all funded by NLP too as well. So last couple of ones of this, and that's pretty much it. Thanks.